Hey everybody, we're starting our virtual flight over the winery now. I hope you're on and seeing this live. Welcome to Barren Ridge Vineyards. If you can hear me, just let me know. So you're looking into the Blue Ridge Mountains. That's Betsy Bell and Mary Gray, the little mountains by Stanton. And this will be uploaded on video later, so you can re-watch it if you didn't get to see it. We're heading over some of the oldest vines planted at the vineyard. Heading straight for the winery, where we're doing our tasting momentarily. Okay, there we are. I hope you got to watch our video via drone. If not, we'll play it later and we'll upload it so you can see it. Welcome to Barren Ridge Vineyards. I'm Robert Higgs. My parents, John and Shelby, started the winery in 2004, and I'm here representing the family. We got a few people working here today. We have Kirk, who's our technological expert, Krista, and my wife, Angela. So hope you're all doing well and staying safe and social distancing and just taking care of yourselves. So we started off with some nice drone footage, and I have to say hello to a couple of people. We lost a dear friend from France. She was, I think she was 93 years old. It's not related to coronavirus, but Mary Therese was a dear friend, and she introduced us a lot into the way of life in Provence when we were living there. So we're really going to miss her, and we wish her well and hope she's in a better place. And so I'll say hi to her son and family, John Marie, Aubin, and Marilyn. I hope you're all doing okay. They're probably not watching this yet, but I hope you're all well. And we lost a dear friend in New York, Harvey Solomon, who was in the Doctors Orchestra of New York with Angela, and he was a very close friend. He even gave Angela away at our wedding. And I'll say hi to Carmel, his wife of a very long time. So we hope everybody's doing well, and I hope you're all well out there. So we're going to start off on that note, and now we're going to have some fun. It is springtime. It's a time of renewment, so we're gonna move on to different subjects, and we're gonna be out here tasting our Touriga 2017 and our Tinkling Spring 2018, and I'll be explaining these wines. I said we're gonna go in flight, so we already went in flight, and I'm gonna take you to Portugal and also locally to Tinkling Spring, which is right down the road from here. So let me continue on. I included some tasting sheets. I sent them out on Facebook and on Instagram. That's what they look like. And we're going to have some photos as well. And so we're going to move on to the tasting portion now. So it's nice to see you. I'm just going to make this a little smaller so I can see some comments coming in. Looks like there's some people out there. Hope you can hear me. You can hear me? Okay. Kirk gave me the thumbs up. All right, so we're going to move on to our tasting. Tinkling Spring. This is our white blend. Tinkling Spring 2018. You can see a lovely label. This is a painting by P. Buckley Moss. And with every bottle we sell, we donate to her children's educational foundation. She did 2 of our labels, so this is one of them. It's a beautiful painting with, actually from the area called Tinkling Spring, and you can see the little small river there in the picture. So she's a great local artist. We She may even come out and paint the vineyard again sometime. I heard she might do that, but I hope she's well, and we thank her very much and wish her all the best with her foundation. So let's move on to the tasting. You can see it's a light color wine. I'll show you in the glass. Hang with me one second. So Tinkling Spring, it's kind of a light straw color. You know, we always look at the visual first. This is a blend of 4 different grapes. It's primarily Riesling and Vidal Blanc, which is a hybrid grape, and Viognier. And there's about 5% Sauvignon Blanc to make a nice cuvee, a nice, interesting, you know, something complex. And if you read through my tasting notes, I talk a lot about blending wine and what the goals are. The goals really are balance and to create something magnificent that utilizes all the different aromatic and taste profiles from the different varietals. So there's a lot of complexity in here if you get it right, and I think we did. This is 2018. That was a difficult year, but this wine honestly tastes beautiful. So we did a great job on this one. I wasn't here making it, so our winemaking team was doing that. Which is now Mark McCune and Jesse Gatewood, and in the past we had Tim Jordan. So you can see kind of brilliant, clear wine, light straw color, as I said. All the different wines are a little bit different colors. They all have different color grape skins, so the juice comes out differently. And so this is what we ended up with. Looks like a light wine. It's a little viscous if you take a look at it. It's a little bit oily. That's probably from the Viognier. Viognier has kind of some oily traits, so there's some texture to the wine as well. It's just not super light in the glass like a Riesling would be. Riesling would be more green. So this is a product of all the different components, something harmonious. So first nose. You get some beautiful floral aromas, some very nice spices, and some nice different types of fruit. And we're going to give it a little swirl to release more of the aromas. A little bit more integrated now. You get a little more fruit characteristics. Really smells like a beautiful wine. You get a lot of freshness, you get a little minerality, you get some white fruit, you get some pear, you get some baked citrus. You know, the minerality is probably coming from the Riesling. You get something like flint or a little bit of gunpowder. You get white spices, so you get a little bit of something from everything. Each varietal adds something to the wine. Riesling adds structure and acidity, which is really the structure and the backbone of a wine. So you get some nice freshness and some nice green minerals like crushed stones. With Vidal Blanc, you get something a little bit bigger and rounder, a little less varietal characteristics, but still a beautiful drinking wine on its own. It's going to add to the body a little bit. And Vidal Blanc is something you can pretty much drink it with anything. It's just a very easy sipping wine. And then you have Viognier, you know, something profound with a lot of aromas like honeysuckle and just a little bit more grandeur, a little bit bigger wine, somewhat voluptuous depending on the growing season. And you're going to get a totally different fruit profile on that one. And then a little bit of Sauvignon Blanc, which, you know, Viognier also has some fruits like very ripe vineyard peach and exotic fruits, more pineapple notes. And then Sauvignon Blanc, you get minerality, but you also get fruit with tendencies towards exotic fruits as well. Often more kind of lychee and passion fruit, at least in our Sauvignon Blanc. And I'm going to show you a little photo. Here we have a photo. It's kind of small on your screen. Hopefully you're seeing this. These are Vidal Blanc grapes in the sunshine. We'll try to work with how we're adding our photos to these presentations in the future. But that was our Vidal Blanc. Okay, now we're going to actually take a sip. So very complex, fairly light. I would say light to medium bodied wine. Nice, fresh kind of citrus fruit up front, and a lot of minerals, a lot of good energy on the tongue. Kind of makes the tongue dance a little bit. So a lot of that's probably coming from a little bit of the Riesling. And you really taste those minerals, and you actually get a little bit of gunpowder in the mouth. We're getting a little rainstorm, so if I have to run inside, I have to run inside, but we're going to try to make it through. But beautiful components of each varietal in this wine. You have the minerality. I think I'm going to run inside. Hang on a second. Kirk. Okay. As you know, this is unscripted, so we're moving inside now. So just give me 1 minute. Can you grab those wines for me? Yeah. Kirk's just turning on the lights for us. All right, so now we're in the Audrey Blackford room. A little different atmosphere. Sorry, it actually looked nice and clear when we started. You guys still with us? Okay, I see there's a little delay there. We'll see when we're back live. All right, looks like we're getting there. Hey, Kirk, do you think I should keep talking? Yeah. There's a little delay on here. All right, stay with us, everybody. If you can hear me, we're getting a real thunderstorm. I'm moving not in live time, but I hope you can hear me and perhaps see me. What do you think?
Like that.
Might be getting a little interference from the storm. There we go. Okay. Hi, everybody. All right, we're back inside. So we were tasting the Tinkling Spring. So we're just going to take another sip of that one. Yeah, so like all our wines, as I was mentioning before, you get a little bit of, with this blend, you're looking for something balanced and integrated. So you have the nice acidity from the Riesling, balancing out the other components. You have the nice body coming from the Vidal Blanc, and you have this nice big character from the Viognier, and all the different types of fruit and minerality that you get in each one of those wines, plus a little kicker of the Sauvignon Blanc, just 5%, but Sauvignon Blanc can be pretty powerful, and it really adds something to the wine, even with that small amount. So the flavors are really long. I still have flavors resting on my tongue. I have some nice minerality and some nice fresh citrus to finish the wine. And these wines, with their complexity and all their different components, they're very good food wines, especially with that freshness and that structure and that juicy acidity. It really helps you appreciate food and marries well with food, helps you digest the food, and helps clean your palate after every single bite. And in addition to that, you have all the different fruit and aromatic components. So when you are eating, depending on what you're having, if it's a little bit of a salty food, it's going to taste a certain way. If it's seafood, it's going to taste different. And pretty much with everything that you pair it with, it's going to make the food and make the wine taste different. So it's really exciting to try it with a lot of different things. And it really is an excellent wine. So I hope some of you at home are enjoying it. I know some of you were out picking up wine yesterday and today, so we really appreciate you guys tasting along. And I feel like there was something else I wanted to say about Tinkling Spring. So Tinkling Spring, my parents were married in Tinkling Spring Church, and so was my sister. So that's a nice, very local thing. And my father, growing up, he had a friend. The idea for this wine, in addition to the name and the locality, was my father had a friend out in Middlebrook, and they didn't have electricity or anything, so they had a spring that basically was their refrigerator. So they had a cool box over a spring, and that's how they kept their food cold. And my father said the water from this natural spring was just so delicious and so pure that, you know, there was watercress inside and some minty notes, and he's never tasted water like that. And he wanted to create a blend that was something similar to that. So when you tell our winemakers that's his goal, that's a very difficult goal to achieve, but you really have a wine that's complex, well integrated, goes well with food, and really has a real clarity and purity. So it really is a wonderful wine. And you also can support a wonderful organization by buying a bottle. So please try it now or in the future. Let's see if we see any more comments. Alistair Beaton, Tim Belton, David Shriver, they came by earlier. Gary Beam Briggs, Vicky Ruckman, appreciate you guys always checking in. Denise Levins, sounds like some of you were tasting it. Jim Benedict, who helps us grow Chardonnay, Cabernet Franc, and Riesling up near Mount Crawford. Vicky Knight, Terry Southard, Robin Miner. I appreciate it, all you guys coming out today. It's fantastic. And you guys have really been supportive this week, so we appreciate all your help at this time, especially buying our wines for these tastings. I'll have a couple of interesting announcements for next week's tastings, but I'll save those for later. So now we're going to move on to Portugal. I told you we would go on a little journey, and today we will go to Portugal. I have one little picture from Porto. I was there in February, and it's an exciting, beautiful place that makes lovely wines. And the national grape of Portugal is called Touriga Nacional, and we're going to be tasting Touriga today. This is a Virginia Touriga, which is a good bit different than Touriga from Porto, from the Douro Valley, where they have these steep hillsides and a lot more heat than we do, and they have these massive schist hillsides that are very steep. We have schist in our vineyards too, and clay, which is really good for red wines, but their wines are going to be a little bit more tannic and a little bit more powerful, and take a lot longer to kind of evolve enough where the tannins are controlled so you can drink them. Our Touriga is going to be a little bit lighter and a little bit more delicate, but still with these same varietal components of tannin and structure, kind of like comparing a Cabernet Franc and a Cabernet Sauvignon. Touriga is a little bit like a Cabernet Sauvignon with this power and this structure, good acidity and tannins and body. So it's really an interesting wine. There's only 3 vineyards that are growing it in Virginia, as far as I know, still. This was the very first red wine that we made here, that we released in 2008. We're always going to stick with it. It's hard to grow in the vineyard here because when it gets wet, and we have a lot of damp conditions here in Virginia, when it gets wet, it has a tendency to split open and fall apart. But we're always going to grow it because it's part of our DNA here, and it honestly tastes wonderful. It tastes like nothing else in Virginia. So let me show you the bottle. There's our Touriga. See the apple grates, an homage to our roots as an old apple orchard bought by my grandfather in 1933. In future tastings, we'll be delving into a little more family history and letting you meet at least the pictures of my grandparents, and I'll show you some old pictures of my parents, John and Shelby. We'll leave that for a future tasting, but let's move on to the Touriga. In Portugal, this can be inky dark, even opaque. It's kind of a black-blue skin grape, and with some really profound aromas in the nose. You get some real dusky, smoky types of fruit, tendency towards black fruit, black cherry, baked plums, red plum, really spicy, black pepper. You can get a little bit of a mentholated note. For me, it's something like rosemary today. You can get black olive. So you really get some massive complexity in one varietal wine. In port, they use these to make port wine, so fortified wine, and they make table wine as well. But it's really delicious on its own. And like I said, it's a little more delicate, a little more approachable here in Virginia, but absolutely delicious. So smoky, lots of complexity, lots of different kinds of spices, something earthy. You get some interesting notes. Again, you get something like I forget the word. Something like licorice. That's the word I was looking for. Licorice. Something mentholated like eucalyptus. All these deep fruits, and really something smoky and minerally. So that also gives you a hint of what kind of food you can pair this with. So let's give it a try. That's a good glass of wine. Delicious. It can be medium to heavy body, and here in Virginia it's probably more on the side of medium, but there's a lot of structure. There's a real backbone from the good acidity that Touriga naturally has. And all these different fruit components, I'm tasting now some kind of candied dried fruit components. You get that smokiness. You get some kind of lean minerality on the middle tongue, and you get this whole collection of different spices, earthy tones. Really complex. And I forgot to mention, typically there is a floral note to Touriga, and it's definitely here. They can be really perfumed with different types of floral notes, but discovered for yourself, something like violet is what I'm detecting today. And it's really with that structure and that natural juiciness and all these smoky fruit components, very long, very lush. It really marries perfectly with beef, choice cuts of beef. It will go with a lot of different kinds of food. You could try Asian beef dishes, a lot of different types of meats. Anything smoky from a grill, barbecue, anything barbecued would be good. You could put a glazed salmon on a grill, and it's going to get smoky and charred and also taste deliciously with that. That acidity is going to help cut through the fattiness in the food. This, with the good acidity, is going to go really well with any kind of fatty foods. But we had Touriga with a steak from a local producer who's a friend of ours, Anathallo Acres, who grows beef here. And it was literally the best steak I've ever had, even better than all of our favorite steakhouse steaks from New York. So really a fantastic wine. With meats, but you can try it with a lot of different things, anything smoky, things like baking, a nice pasta carbonara. You should really try it with a lot of different things, but it's fun to just taste on its own. And just a little anecdote about the origins. When we made this wine in 2007 and released in 2008, there's a Portuguese wine expert, Bartholomew Broadbent, who is one of the foremost experts in the world on Portuguese wines. And he tried our Touriga in 2007, and he was putting together a tasting with American wines, especially lower alcohol wines, with the best of the rest. I think it was mostly the best of the rest in Europe. And our little Touriga really outshone a fine wine from Portugal. So it was a real accolade, and we were picked up by I think it was Forbes online magazine back at the time, and we were listed as one of the best 10 Tourigas in the country for that period of time. So we're really happy to have that at the beginning of our journey here at Barren Ridge Vineyards. So I'm going to go back. So this is Porto. I'll show you a little picture of Porto from our recent trip. It's a beautiful place. It's worth visiting. It's a great place for food. Sorry, this picture is kind of small, but you see the Douro River runs right through it, and you have the port houses over here on the left, and you kind of have the old town where people live on the right. As I mentioned before, these are Vidal Blanc grapes. I'm just going to get those out of the way. We had the pleasure of having Zoe Space. She's right here. I'm going to see if I can make this bigger. Sorry, having a hard time doing this without my mouse. So she came here and did a tasting. She's doing a master class in food preparation and nutrition and how they eat well before their performances. So she has a 6-week master class, and her master class starts on Monday evening. And she's going to make a beautiful farro salad, and she's going to be pairing her dishes with Barren Ridge wines. She got a crash course in Barren Ridge wines this past week, and we all had a lovely time together and had a lot of fun. So she's going to have a lot of fun with her program on Mondays, and just all the best to the American Shakespeare Company. We're really happy to be working with them. And then next week we have a very special tasting. We have Brandon Carter, who's here on the right now, looking pretty tough. He's going to be here tasting wine. Both Zoe and Brandon are from Virginia, so we're just going to be doing kind of live and unscripted like we normally do, and we're going to be tasting along with Brandon, unscripted. And sorry, I'm back with you now. So we'll see what happens. And we're going to be tasting 4 wines. We're going to be tasting Vidal Blanc. We're going to taste Tinkling Spring again to taste one of the components of Tinkling Spring at the same time. And then we're going to taste Cabernet Franc, and we're going to taste our Meritage 15. So we're going to taste 4 wines, and anything else, I'm not going to mess with Carter. Whatever he wants to taste, we'll let him taste. So we'll see what happens. Should be exciting, and we're going to be striving for a bigger audience. I'm going to connect with friends all over Europe and friends in New York and Chicago and out west. So feel free to forward on. We're going to be posting invitations and notifications on Facebook and Instagram. Feel free to forward them to your friends. We would like to get a really big audience this time. And we'll have these wines available at the winery, and you should be able to order them on wine. We're going to try to online. We're going to try to put together a package so you can just one click and you buy them. But that'll be fun. We're going to be tasting together, and we'll keep exploring this partnership with the American Shakespeare Center in Stanton, and that's a beautiful thing. It's a real part of the DNA and something very important for this community in this area. So, and they are fantastic actors. It's really world class. So we'll see what happens then, and so look for more information on that this week. I'm going to leave on that note. Please get in touch if you guys need anything. Thanks, Tim, for saying Tinkling Spring is a beautiful blend. Nice history of the name, Tinkling Spring. Love it. A lot of people love Touriga. Touriga's been becoming a favorite for everybody that tries it. And it's something so unique. It's hard to find, and it just tastes delicious. People are saying try it with Thanksgiving turkey. I don't know which wine that Debbie was talking about. Rick Mart says best comment of the night. That's a good glass of wine. I borrowed that from a friend in New York, Ricardo Castablanco, so maybe he's out there. And it is an excellent statement, isn't it? Some people saying hello to Alex Moore and Anathallo Akers, and they really should. He really makes fantastic, everything he does is really fantastic, and he'll probably be in our green market again, which will start again soon one day. So I guess I'm going to leave it off. Sometimes I have a hard time finishing. I hope you're all well out there. We love you guys, and we love all the support you've been giving us and sticking with us. You've been fantastic through this whole episode. And we really wish you continued safety and health, and just keep doing the right thing. And we're all going to get through this together. We got to go through this to get through this, and we're all going to be fine. And we're going to try to have enjoyable moments like this, where we can share time together until we can actually all be together. So, wish you a beautiful week. See you next weekend with Brandon. I'll be doing a little Shakespeare myself, I believe. So look forward to that. I'll try to build up my courage all week for that. And we should have a good time, and it's going to be always authentic, unscripted, and we'll just try to have a good time and have some beautiful moments together. And that's our goal here at the winery, for us all to have beautiful moments and appreciate every single moment we have in this life. So cheers, have a beautiful weekend, have a beautiful Sunday evening, and I'll be sending you a recipe that goes with Tinkling Spring you can cook next week if you feel like it. So on that note, be well. Hope you drink and enjoy something nice this evening. Be nice to each other, enjoy each other's company, and let's appreciate life together. Be well. Take care. Love you guys. Good evening, everybody.